Good evening, everybody. Today is Saturday, May 30th. I'm Pat LaChapelle. I'm working more on my stock market tool today. Last week was a pretty exciting milestone in this project. I started working on this at the end of last year, and I started paper trading last week. So here's the current results as they stand. It doesn't look so great, but we haven't even closed any positions because I'm holding for 5 days, and we started on Tuesday. So this upcoming Tuesday, we'll start to get an idea of if we're closing our positions negative. But it's not looking too great right now. So kind of I wanted to start paper trading as soon as possible. As soon as I get a strategy working, I want to go live with the model. So that's what I did. I don't want to just spend forever coding. At some point, you gotta start with something and see how it does. So I wanted to start paper trading as soon as possible, but I didn't have any infrastructure built up for the code. So I'm tracking it here manually. So I have to go in and fill out all of my positions I'm taking for the day. I have a script to give me the positions for the day, but it would be a lot more robust and just faster for me if I was able to automate all this. So ideally, I could just run one script and update the paper trading for any amount of models. And so what that will do for me is, one, it will allow me to, if I get some other strategies I want to try before a month is up with this strategy, I can go ahead and start implementing those as well. The other thing is that this is very time consuming and cumbersome to do. And this past week, since Wednesday, I didn't have much time, so I only did about an hour stream per night. But documenting the paper trading was taking up the whole hour every day. So um, basically, the drawback with that is it makes it so there's only 3 days a week where I could really work on the model and strategies and updating things. And that makes it so that if this model keeps going down, if these three strategies, which are really the same strategy with different exposure scaling, um, if these keep going down and it turns out this isn't a strategy I can implement, and I spend an hour each day updating the paper trading, then in a month from now, I'm going to be back to square one with no progress made. This model looked good in the back test, but didn't work in live trading. And now it'll be back to square one with no progress made. So while this is paper trading, I want to start working on other models. But in order to do that, I'm going to need to automate all of the paper trading strategies. So ideally, I would like to just run one script at the end of the day and update, with the current positions and get this plot automatically. So that's my goal. So this morning I was working on this flow chart. Um, I needed to organize how I was going to do everything. Um, so what I have built is this backtesting section, the top section. And what I need to automate is this bottom section here. So just to go over how this is working is I'm starting with data. I found a really good data source. The link's in the description if you're interested in that. I'm defining some filters in Python. The filters, there's a parent class for the filters, and then there's subclasses for each unique type of filter. So I'm defining some filters, using those to create the universe. And currently right now it's going and making a universe file. So this is actually my first thing I need to change, is put the universe in a folder so that the information's flexible and so that it's well documented. Because how I'm running it now, I'm running a script every time. And if I change something and forget about it, I'm not adding that script to GitHub because I don't want to share my edge. I want to share the general model features. I forgot to say, this is all on GitHub. So if you're interested in this, go check that out. Download it, fork it, let me know how it works, let me know how I can improve it, and if you'd like to see anything added. And of course, if you find it helpful, please star the repository, watch the repository, and follow me on GitHub, because that stuff helps me out a lot. So that's the first thing I need to change. Once I have the universe, I'm feeding that into the feature engine. I'm also feeding data into feature engine. Because the universe doesn't have all of the data. It only has the data for the first of each month. It gives what stocks are in the universe at the first of the month. So I'm going to have this universe folder, which is the output of the universe class. Then That goes into feature engine. Data goes into feature engine. And then I'm defining some features and a target, which are in the feature engine script, and feeding those into the feature engine. And then the feature engine computes the features and the target. And then I feed those into the light gradient boosting method. It trains on the features to predict the target. And then the output of that is the model folder. I have this portfolio class, which is taking the output of the model folder and getting the stocks that were in there, how they performed, as well as their predictions. That goes into a portfolio folder. I then feed the portfolio folder into a portfolio strategy, which takes the output of the model and decides how to allocate capital based on that. So, and then the result of that strategy is a strategy folder. So this I've all built. I need to change how the universe is saving, but that shouldn't take too long. And then I need to get into this live trading stuff. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. Are those the same size? They look a little off. All right, so let's export this guy. Let's put it into the PowerPoint. Hey, pretty good. Okay, then let's put a title in. I guess, let me, actually, I'm going to update the flowchart a little bit. So I'm going to put a key in here. I guess I'm going to make all of these green. Hey Fujo, have you ever heard of Nautilus Trader? What do you think about it for like executing strategies? No, I've never heard of it. Let's look it up. Open source. Cool. Oh, it's a GitHub. Multi-asset, multi-venue, Rust native, deterministic, event-driven core with nanosecond resolution. Research to live parity. Is this something I should use? Interesting. Oh, yeah, see, this is the problem is you need a data client, so you have to pay. That's one problem. I'm pretty sure data bento you have to pay for. I haven't heard of, what is that, OKX, 0KX? Let's look at the core engine. Oh, that's just a outline. I don't know, that looks pretty cool. I don't know. What do I think of it? I think it looks pretty cool. That looks pretty useful. That looks like maybe something I could have used like 6 months ago. A strategy extends the strategy-based class and overrides event handlers to react to market data. This one trades an EMA crossover. Buy when a fast EMA average crosses above a slow one. Sell when it crosses below. Oh, yes, but you could also use IBKR for data client as well. Oh, interactive brokers. I don't know. You have to sign up. I signed up at some point. Paper. Oh. Hi, buddy. Who's a good boy? I'm working, buddy. Okay, I'll fill that out after, but no, that looks pretty cool. You've been researching strategies. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I, you know, it's kind of like, this looks really useful. It's in Python. All right, so let's look at tutorials. Oh, the other, I mean, this looks like it would be, you're defining your own strategies, so it seems like I could implement something. So how are they defining the features, though? Configuration, fees and margins. So BB period, where is that? I don't see any of that stuff getting referenced. Backtest engine config, backtest engine, login config, BB mean reversion. Oh, so they have the features here? Or those are strategies. So I guess you would have to define your own strategy. Yeah, so kind of the trade-off is I don't know, this looks useful and yeah, I could start using it, but then, it could be a wild goose chase, and if it doesn't work well, then I've just wasted time. And I'm in a time crunch. They have a nice flowchart. I want to add this flowchart to the GitHub, so I'm updating these labels. So Green is a Python class. Orange is a output, saved output. Um, this guy's data. Baby, this is what you came for. Lightning strikes every time you move. Um, so I guess these should also be saved outputs. And then this guy is a script, because um, yeah, I mean that's always how it goes in projects. At some point, I tried to use some AI coding IDE, and it was just such a headache and such a learning curve. I was like, I want to build a stock market strategy. I don't want to get good at the AI coding IDE. And yeah, same thing. Nautilus Trader is something to look into when I have free time. Where is on fire? Picture from file. Clear no more. What are you waiting for? Love me like you do. Alright, let's crop this guy. What are you waiting for? Alright, and then let's send this guy to the back. Very good. That looks nice. Okay, let's put that in the GitHub. Yeah, so don't forget to check out the repository if you want to try. This is like a shitty version of Nautilus Trader, I guess. It's just different, I guess. Hopefully someday it'll be better. But their site looks really nice. But let's put the that picture in. Um, how do I put a picture into README? And then did I commit the changes? Did I make any changes here? Oh. Oh. Really? I can drag and drop? Oh, that was easy. Terrific. Oh, could I save it as transparent? But I gotta let it go. How long have you been programming for? I think 2017 was when I started. That was my first. I took one coding class in college, which is Python. Oh, actually, I took two. I took JavaScript, but the teacher was lazy, so all the answers were online, so I didn't learn anything. Or not JavaScript, Java. But really, Python's the king, right? I was lucky that that was the one with the good teacher. And then I just basically started building my own projects for fun, and I didn't get really good until I started coding at work. And then once I started spending, there was about 2 years at my last job where I coded every day, um, for like that was my whole day, 8 hours of coding every day. So that's when I got really a lot better at coding. That's when I got really comfortable with it. But since I've never what do you call it? It's like I'm a self-taught sort of guy for the most part. So um like I don't know a lot of the best practices. I've like hacked together my coding knowledge. Oh, well. So is there any way to make text not be black? Hmm. Wait. Font color. Click on the color button. What is the color button? What? Hey, buddy. Copy. Is there a color thing? No, not there. Extras. Alright, I'm not going through all this crap. I'm just gonna fix it. But it looks bad with the white background. This looks nice. Export as PNG. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. Ouchie. So what if I try that? What's that look like? Where are you now? Ouchie. I guess that looks fine. Let's see what that looks like in the GitHub. Ouch. 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 Don't scratch me. Oh, it still looks bad. So is that the... Why doesn't it look like it does here? Okay, let me try one more, and if this doesn't work, let's just start coding. Okay, I'm gonna export as PNG. Appearance dark. Export. Oh, but that has the same problem. Whoa! Why did this come up all of a sudden? That is just what I wanted. Oh no, not that. Text. Font color. All these arrows are going to be a pain in the ass. Whoa, what did that do? Oh. Okay, so let's make all these guys light so they look good on GitHub. How has algo trading been? Do you have any like algo right now or just paper trading? I was here earlier and you said you recently started paper trading on certain algos. Yes, that's exactly right. Um, these guys. So this is the first one I'm doing. Basically, what this is doing is I have a model that's taking a bunch of features and I'm predicting the return over the next 5 days. Then I'm taking the outputs of that returns, and I'm taking 8 portfolio positions, 4 longs and 4 shorts, so that I could be market neutral. I'm taking the total beta, so the sum of the beta for the shorts and the sum of the beta for the longs, and then allocating capital accordingly so that the net capital times beta should be even for each side. So that's making it beta neutral. And then I'm using hierarchical risk parity to get the position sizes. And so with that strategy, I changed around the number of positions, and 4 positions was the best performing. Um, 5 positions, 6 positions did pretty well. But if I kept increasing, like 10 positions did significantly worse. And then if I made it lower than 4 positions, that was getting worse too. So I decided to do 4 positions. And so this portfolio strategy is just what I described with nothing else implemented. I also have this Yang Chang volatility estimator, which is this red one here. And so I'm also have 2 other strategies where I'm scaling down based on this volatility estimator. So when this volatility estimator goes above the target, I'm scaling down the exposure of the portfolio. And so that's for that, I'm doing this 10% volatility target here. You see the portfolio exposure is always fairly low. And then I'm also doing this one, 25% target volatility. And the portfolio exposure is, bounces between roughly zero point 0.4 to zero point 0.8. So those are the 3 strategies, and these are the results so far. So it's not looking very good. But I haven't closed any positions yet. So really, it doesn't look good, but we're still too early to tell. I'm going to have to do it for a little bit more. The problem is that I have to document all of this manually right now, which I'm doing in this Excel file, but it's taking a long time. And it's basically it took up the whole stream on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I don't want to have to spend all that time documenting it. I just want to run a script and get the current results. I'd like to output this plot for all strategies, and it's also going to prevent me from going through and exploring different strategies in the future. So, basically, if I don't automate this paper trading logic, I'm going to get to the point where there's nothing. I'm going to get to the point where if this model, if it keeps trending this way and it turns out it doesn't do well on paper trading, then I'll be back to square one a month later without any progress made. So I don't want that to happen. I want to be making progress while I'm testing this and trying out. Now that I've worked on this for a while, I have basically infinite ideas for new strategies and ways I can tweak this strategy. So there's basically endless things to work on. So out of the endless things to work on, documenting the paper trading is down at the bottom of what I would like to spend my time doing. So I want to automate the paper trading so I don't have to spend any time doing that. Um, and then I'm going to uh, automate the paper trading, and then while I'm testing them in paper trading, I can keep working on my models and keep improving things. So let's see, this should be basically done. Get out of here. Now how does that look? Pretty good. All right, let's see how this looks on GitHub. So transparent background, export, yet another one. And then let's put that on GitHub. Oh, there we go. Now that looks nice. That's a nice improvement to my GitHub. Somebody goes to this project now, they see the files, and then they can go down. Boom, here it is. Here's the outline. That is nice. Much better. Nice improvement. Okay. So this top stuff I've already implemented, except oh, the universe was saving as a file. I want to change it so it saves as a folder, so it's better documented and repeatable. Oh no, look, I forgot one arrow here. Man. Okay. Now let's get it. Hey buddy, good afternoon. Every time I see your live, I feel like I also need to stop procrastinating. I started my project recently using Claude. Thanks for always coming live. Hey, sure thing. I think that's one of the best things about YouTube. I feel exactly how you feel. That's how I do every time. One of the main reasons I started live streaming, actually, I think probably the main reason, is I have that problem. I'll start working on a project and, I'll work on it for a little bit, maybe like a few hours. And then I just start, or even a few hours would be good for me. Really, I work on it until I get stuck somewhere. And then I just start fucking around. I play games online, watch YouTube, read Wikipedia, basically do anything other than uh, make progress on my project. And so what I noticed was that I had that problem for work, and I used to have a job where um, uh, I used to have a job where I worked remotely a lot. So I had to come in sometimes, but for the most part, since I was just like I said like 15 minutes ago, if you were here, um, I coded every day for 2 years. So for the most part, people didn't need to see me. So I worked from home. But then when I was working from home, I was like, dang, I keep doing this. I work a little bit, I fuck off, and then I have my meeting. Is in 3 days, and basically I won't do anything until right before the meeting. And so what I found was I started going to coffee shops, and I basically found out that if I'm at the coffee shop working on the computer, if I fuck off and start like going on YouTube and stuff, then I'm gonna feel like everybody thinks I'm an idiot at the coffee shop. They're gonna be like, oh, this guy's at the coffee shop. They're all working. Lots of people work at the coffee shop. And so they would all be like, here we are, we're working, and this guy's sitting watching YouTube. It must be like a homeless guy or something. So, um, I realized that going to the coffee shop to work really helped me get things done. Um, so let's go through and test this universe class. Make sure the saving is working correctly. So, um, where is it? Yeah, so that's what I figured out about the coffee shop. And then I thought, I don't even know why this occurred to me. It just like popped into my head. I can't articulate what triggered the thought, but um, somehow I came to the idea that a live stream's the ultimate realization of that. If it's not like somebody has to be walking behind you at the coffee shop and glance at your computer or something. It's like the whole world can tune in at any time, and like right now there's 6 people watching. That helps me stay on task. And then the other thing, which I didn't anticipate, is that when I start getting subscribers on YouTube and stuff, I start getting greedy and I think, oh, I want more subscribers. I only need so many subscribers to start making money. I only need so much more views, so many more this, so many more that. And so then that kind of makes me go, oh, I want to go live. Um, to get more views and subscribers. So all of it, like this is for me just like the ultimate way to get work done. And then there's other things like it's good. The other thing, another thing is that it keeps you honest. So you have to be honest if you want to make money. But it's kind of easy to lie to yourself if you're working, in your room or whatever and the world doesn't see it. But if the whole world sees it, you want it like gives me an extra impetus to do a good job. Yeah, I mean it works for me for I mean I have so much trouble concentrating on one thing. My brain's going like a million miles an hour and typically as soon as something gets boring, I just start daydreaming. I think about other stuff. Um I my big problem is I'm always starting projects and I never finish them. It's like books. I start like 10 books for every book that I finish. I'm always reading like 5 or 6 books at a time, and a lot of them I never finish. I just start reading a different book. But I think that's good for reading because sometimes like they're not interesting, and if something's not interesting, why slog through it? All right, so let's test the universe with this folder save. So we're saving to the folder, save filters and information. So we're saving the filter, and then we need to save the filter information. So should these go into a folder? I guess so. /C. Okay, so in each one now we have to do os.makeDirs. I mean, I'm trying to think. Do I need to save the information for the filter? I could save because if it's pickled, then I could just read it back into Python and look at it. Yeah, but if it's in a CSV, I can just look at it easier. But how often am I going to want to be looking at filters? Probably not too often. So if that turns into something I want to look at a lot, I could change it. But for now, test new universe is equal to 1. And then let's turn that guy off. And then we'll say if test, I think I'll just call this folder save. So back up here, let's change this to test folder save. Okay, so let's do the same thing we did for universe 7. So I also, let's see, universe. So if I don't specify the DF, that's something I changed. Does that work? Now I have filters. So in, what's this? The advanced stats filter. Yeah, they're all defined. So now we have universe. We add the filters. We get the universe for the date. So let's just make this 2026-0101 so it doesn't go for too long. And then universe data is get all universe data. Universe data. All right, get rid of this line. Then we'll say, oh, I don't need that either. And then I can just say universe.save. And when I'm calling the save function, we need to pass in a folder. So I think I'm going to call this universes slash save test is the folder name. And then should be dot dot slash data slash universes. And okay, I mean there's basically infinite benefits to YouTube. So there's the benefit that you get more work done. Not only because everybody's watching and anyone can tune in at any time and I'll feel like an idiot if I'm not doing anything. But also because, make sure this is saved. Oh, and the other way you get more work done is I get greedy and I want more subscribers and views and stuff so that I can make money on YouTube. And I guess that's not greedy. That's just trying to set up a good life for myself. I think what I do for work, I don't make any money doing. So, but I really like it. It's very interesting. So that's kind of the trade-off. And this is interesting, so if I could make money from doing this, I don't need to worry about money in other parts of my life. And also, I think it's good to be very wealthy. I think that makes it so that people can't fuck with you. You don't have to bend the knee to some moron. The worst thing you can do in life, or like the worst thing for your soul, and everyone has to do it, but is bending the knee to some moron. Because we've all done it, and nothing's more painful, in my opinion. Okay, so let's go to Explorers, and then we're going to run Universe Explorer. Oh, yeah, so the other good thing about YouTube is then it's a community, like you said. How do I say that? Is it Dinesh? Dinesh Adhikari? Or, Dinesh is a name I've heard before. But I don't know if I'm separating the first and last name properly. What the hell? It only printed for the security type filter. So let's go look at that and see what's the deal. Wix3 desktop work. Stock market tool, data, portfolio, universes, save test. Well, so we have the filters, but it didn't save the universe. If self.hasUniverse is true, oh, so I added the filters, but I didn't get the universe. Okay, so I'll just put that line back in. So the other really good thing about YouTube, which is just like you said, Dinesh, is it helps you, but it also helps me. Because, you're working on a project by yourself, and even if I solved my problem of not being able to concentrate and stuff without live streaming, still there are times where you hit your head into the wall for like a week or 2 weeks, and that can just get you down and depressed, and you don't want to work on the project anymore. So what really helps me, /data File exists. Oh, we have to say exist okay equals true. So make ders, let's say exist okay equals true, and then we're just going to overwrite the directory. So what was the point of that? Oh yeah. So people, not only do people come in and help me stay motivated, they come in and give me these crazy suggestions that I couldn't find on my own. Like Fujo gave me a tool today, Nautilus. It looks extremely useful. It's native in Python. So um, yeah, so now we have the universe. We have the filters. Um, so this makes it so the universe can be regenerated from a folder. Is there anything else we really need to save in here? I'm trying to think. If I just go forward and don't save the filter information, am I going to regret that later? But that seems kind of a pain in the ass to figure out. I think that was the last prompt I gave to Claude. The fact that every filter has different properties, exactly the case this technique handles for free. The tool you want is VARs of self. I don't really get everything that's doing. So I'm just gonna leave this here as is, and let's go work on the next thing. So the next thing to work on um, is so okay. This is good for now. So finish making flowcharts. Did that. Update universe so it saves to folder. Did that. Give universe an update function so it can no, I don't care about that. Update everything in model and portfolio so they work with the new universe. So those are just getting a universe file. Do I need to care about that? Yeah, because if the universe file changes, yeah, let's save info for the universe. So I don't know. This is kind of confusing me though, but maybe we don't need the feature information. This is kind of the hard thing with code is you change something so it's like if I change it so the old functionality breaks, my old tests don't work, but if you keep all the functionalities that have ever existed, then the stuff just gets huge. I don't know what exactly to do about this. Ba-na-na-na. It's hot here. I don't know where you guys are, but it gets warm in here, especially in my room. All right, so what do we want to save? I guess this is fine for now, I can make it more flexible later. So we can not worry about that. So let's look at the flow chart. So now we have universe folder is working. All this stuff's working. So portfolio folder, and do we have a strategy folder? Surrounding yourself with people who share similar goals and work ethic can accelerate progress because you exchange ideas more easily. Yeah, I mean, that's like one of the big secrets to life, I think. You get so much more stuff done if you can. Um, yeah, collaboration and community is so important. I've learned that at my work. I work in a physics lab, and I went from a group which I liked all the people a lot, but to be honest, it was poorly organized. Um, and so, uh, yeah, and we just weren't, it wasn't a good group, but my new group has really good leadership. And just they get stuff done. It's impressive. And everybody's always doing stuff. Everybody's always getting stuff done. It's such an important thing in life, you know? Um, all right, so what are we saving from the HRP? So portfolios. So do we not save it at all? Portfolio Explorer. So we're getting the portfolio. Sizing method is beta neutral. Results equals that. Dates equals that. Okay, so now we need a function in the strategy class. So portfolio is good though. What information do we need for portfolio? So in the portfolio, we get the model folder, but then in the model folder, we have the universe. Oh, keep getting get info. It's quick look. I should save info to universe folder too, actually. So in universe.save, save universe file, and then save universe info. And then, okay, so let's say info is equal to a dictionary, and we have start date is, so when we pass in, so here we'll save it to the object. So we'll say self.dates is equal to dates. Hey, by the way, let me know if you guys have any music suggestions to listen to, because I'm just bored with my music. I listen to too much music, but and then also don't forget to subscribe if you think this is interesting. And like the stream, of course. That stuff helps me out. Okay, so now we've saved dates. So now we can say when we're saving info, start date is self.dates of 0. End date is self.dates of 1. And then do we have date time in here? Date time, date time, date time. Nope. From date time import datetime. And I'm pretty sure how to run this is you just do datetime.now, but let's check. Okay, good. Duh. I'll do that. Okay, so from datetime, import datetime in universe. We also want to save the date. Where are you now? Datetime.now. Where are you now? Okay, so we saved the date. So is that a good enough first check? I mean, do I need to save? I'm just gonna do that, and then we can, check whether the date is the same. I'm fading. So let's exit and run this one more time. And let's see what that folder looks like. And then we'll move on to the next thing. So the next thing is to save the portfolio strategy somehow. So let's think about that. Really, HRP strategy. Okay, so in portfolio, let's update the GitHub really quick. Okay, so let's go look at that. How does it look? Is this what we're looking for? Alright, so universe is here. Yeah, duh, I didn't save it. Alright, so we're getting the data. So let's put this here. And then we'll put clean analysis. Alright, so we're saving it. And then we'll say info df is equal to pd dot data frame of info. And then we'll say info df dot to csv data under to csv, and then we'll say, what are we gonna call it? Better off alone. Info.csv. Better off alone. Better off alone. You must Must pass an index if using, I forgot to add lists. So this should be a list. What's the issue here? Creation date. Oh. Okay, let's run this now. Let's look back at portfolio. All right, HRP backtest. So we just need to save everything from the setup. So set scaling params. Use dynamic scaling is true, and then when we initialize, is it false? If not, has attribute. Okay, so that comes in down there, but let's just put that in here. Okay, so let's add a new method here. Save, to save the HRP. I mean, the problem is this strategy isn't very flexible. So it's, you know, you have to feed it data, get the outputs. Hey, Sir Night Night. How's your weekend going? All right, let's think. So the HRP backtest. What I want is a portfolio strategy class. But this isn't far from a portfolio strategy. But this should have a function get predictions for today. So in run, self.results, daily returns, daily turnover percentage. I don't know, I'm having trouble thinking about this. So I know it's not general enough. So in LiveStrat, how am I implementing this? Get live yang chain, bootstrap cold start, saves the cold start problem by generating a simulated equity curve over the last n days using your most recent universe backtest. Basket. Okay, I think it'd be good to give this to Claude. All right, let's give it a here is the flowchart for my stock market tool. I want to save this into a folder with all important information such that I can create the strategy from the saved universe. Finally, okay, so I'll say which will make which will output positions for the most recent day in my data set. What is the best way for me to do this? All right, so let's add the files. We also have portfolio and live strat 3. Oh no, my HDMI is getting disconnected again. I honestly don't understand why this is happening. Come on, man. What is the deal with this? Just do it later. Hey, interesting content. I got some questions. Why not use local Claude or VS Code plugin to directly code in the files? When I've tried uh, I just find that to be a pain in the ass. First off, I'm afraid of it changing things at a rate faster than I can track. Um, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose a feel for how the code works. And I think ultimately I need to have an idea of everything in my head. And so I've just been using it to write specific functions or classes, small classes, or, add this method to this class. But um, so earlier I did try what's it called? It's like Atomic or something. It's Google's VS Code fork for that's basically an IDE that's basically VS Code, but it implements Google's AI. But I just found it to be useless. The I would ask it something, it would be in like the project tool, and I would say, hey, help me do this, and it would think forever, and then say I'm out of requests. I'm out of tokens. It was just, it's almost like it felt like it was doing too high level thinking. And I'm not sure what the reason for that is. Maybe there's a way to troubleshoot it, but I really only want to use it to say, hey, write this function here. Write that function here. What's the problem with this? So honestly, I just think that using it and also it uses up, I guess I said that, but it uses up the tokens way faster in the um, IDE. So, no, why? What the hell is going on with this? So why do I not see? This is so weird. My screen. I have the second screen I'm working off of, and it's not showing anything. But I should say, if you find this interesting, if you think the stock market thing is interesting, coding in Python, anything like that, don't forget to subscribe because I would appreciate it. And then also, I work on this every day. So I started live trading last week, and I'm slowly marching towards strategy. I want to basically change my portfolio positions every day by running a single script. So if you're interested in this project, don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out the GitHub. You can do all the back testing that I've implemented with the GitHub code. So don't forget to check that out. And star it if you find it useful. I'm trying, if this monitor doesn't start working, then I'll have to just do this on my laptop. But the monitor has power. It's showing on my screen. It's updating. I put my mouse there. Oh, good, it's back. Okay, thank goodness. But now it's frozen on my screen, so let me remove that. Just a sec. Let me put my screen share back on. Okay, Mac OS screen capture. Get that guy. Okay, and then make it full screen. And then put me on top. And we're good. Okay, sorry, that was a bit of a boring sidetrack. How should I handle the existing backtest classes? Leave them untouched. Wow, this is cool. Claude Opus 4.8. That's pretty cool. For the save strategy folder, should reconstruction rerun the model to generate predictions, or assume predictions are already cached in the universe/portfolio data? For the saved strategy folder, I like your attempt going slow. Might gonna check your Git. I am more like pre-planning architecture and let the agent create based on that. Works for me. Wait, I am more like pre-planning architecture. You're the pre-planner of the architecture, and the agent creates based on that. And it works. I don't know. Really, the AI is moving so fast that it's hard to keep up with. ChatGPT was the best. Then Gemini Pro was better than ChatGPT. And I found ChatGPT wasn't useful for coding like when I was using it last year. But then I was just talking to my coworker and I said, "Oh yeah, ChatGPT is shit for code." And he's a pro coder. He's like way better at computers than me. And he's like, "No, I use it every day. This is very useful for me." Um, all right, so can you elaborate on what you mean by the safe? Should reconstruction rerun the model? So what did I say? Then I want to save this into a folder with all important information such that I can create the strategy from the saved universe. Oh. Um I have found that each model has its strengths and weaknesses. Using a combination is really using the needle for me. Yeah, that's what I find works best too. But um, I'm not even sure, since you seemed so confident in Opus 4.8, that made me think, this thing's a game changer. So I don't know. I want to use this now instead of Gemini for coding and see, does this work better than Gemini? Because Gemini was working better, but things are moving so fast and changing so often. It's like, who knows what's the best at the current moment. So, and I should be able to recreate the same strategy, period. Oh. So what if I say something else? I don't know. Why did it do that? I don't like that. I don't like that functionality. I wanted it to keep going and take the input. I'm worried it's going to get confused now, but we'll see. Let's see what happens. Okay, back to new music. Sir Night Night, give me some of your classic rap to listen to. What was that? Um, it's there's some group. What's that group? It's the one. I think it's the one that Questlove was in. GPT is still the better reasoning agent. I don't know, dude. My brother called me today because he fucked up his rent. He's splitting rent with his girlfriend, and he was gonna pay X amount more than her. And without revealing too much, just imagine their rent is $1,000. And he was gonna pay $100 more than her. He calculated that as he divided 1,000 by two, and then added 100. And so he was paying double as much more than her than he should have been. So they asked ChatGPT and said, is this correct? Is this logic for figuring out my share of the rent correct? And it said, yeah. It said he should be paying 600 and she should pay 400, and that would mean that he's paying 100 more. And I don't know how. And so then I talked to him. I was like, dude, this is 8th grade math, brother. We set up a system of equations. It's algebra, which was really nice for me because, in 8th grade, I love math, so I always enjoyed it. I always thought this is fun. I loved solving the puzzles. But everyone else always said, what's the point of this? They're just teaching us pointless shit. Um, anyway. Which is crazy when you consider Anthropic has had 2 releases since 5.5. Why? How do they? Oh, Anthropic is on its own numbering system. I see. Yeah, that is I mean, I don't know what to think about it. So, Sir Night Night, what do you think about the chat GPT IPO? I was listening to some Irish finance guy talk about it, and he said, "Oh, well, the question is whether AI is going to be like search and there's going to be one winner, like how Google won search. And if that's the case, then there's no competition and you can really monetize it. But the drawback for OpenAI would be if there are multiple winners. And the problem with that is that then prices they can't jack up prices too much because they don't have a monopoly. That's the problem. And I was like, what the fuck? That sounds like a good thing. These people are like completely backwards. And I can't believe who's in favor of monopolies. That's like the worst thing you could have. I like Claude for the architecture, sticking to the plan thing. GPT kind of tries to push more for trading, I found. I can follow Claude's decision better than GPT's often. What about Gemini Pro? Have you ever used Gemini Pro? Those are kind of the big models, right? Gemini, GPT, Claude, but I never use Chat GPT anymore. I used to use it. Um, and the pattern you want is exactly your portfolio idiom. Build an empty object and strategy.open repopulates it. That's the in place load into self case from the start of our conversation. Let me read the print. Okay, so we'll see if that works once it's done. Um, what else do we have to do? So dang it, my Red Bull's out. I think I'm gonna go make a coffee really quick. I'll be right back. Don't forget to subscribe, like the stream. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I gotta go get a coffee because I need some more caffeine to pound through the rest of this. Uh, what I want to do tonight, finish this strategy folder. Once I finish this strategy folder, this stuff will be really easy to implement. Basically, I have scripts to do it already, so I just need to make this concise. This will be easy. I just need to build up this strategy. Oh no, we have this strategy. Yeah, so that'll be easy. So let me work on that. Most coders using AI are using it in the CLI. Nobody uses Gemini Pro in the CLI anymore. Google really hurt themselves with anti-gravity. It's pure trash. Really? Uh, that's exactly what I found actually. That anti-gravity was pure trash. So what do you use? What CLI do you use? Are you using that? Anyway, I'll be right back. I gotta go make a coffee. Let me know. Electric relaxation. Good, I'm putting it on. Hey, buddy. Alright, I put in electric and I forgot what the rest of the song was. Hey, Global. How are you? What's going on with you? Okay, electric relaxation. Oh, a Tribe Called Quest. Yeah, all my friends got into a Tribe Called Quest, but I never got much into them. But I do remember this song now. This is like one of their big songs, right? I uh I find songs I like and I don't branch out much, you know. Especially in rap, you know, when you're listening to rap in the car or whatever, it's so much more fun when you know the song. What's an open model harness mean? Open model harness. What's that mean? All right, so let's see what this guy says. All three things you asked for fall out of one refactor. Extract the single day sizing step into one method, drive it from a config object, and make the waiting pluggable. Then run. Put every toggle in one config object. This is also your save load unit. Alright. So strategy config. Make waiting a pluggable function instead of hard-coded HRP. Now, if I want to backtest it, how am I doing that? Portfolio Explorer, we're saying strategy results equals strategy.run. Do I set the dates? Okay, I'll leave that for later. Did some research yesterday and today relaxing. What were you researching? So it must be Sunday where you are. Assuming everyone does weekends the same way across the world. A harness is a shell you put around an AI open weighted model that gives it tools so that you can use it. If the AI model is the brain, then the harness is the hands and feet of the model. But so what's a harness? It's like data. Like you have your model, but what do you put around it? In Italy. Why? That's where that coworker I was just talking about. He's Italian. I do the American Italian accent, but it's kind of catchy, you know? That's how New Yorkers talk. We're Italians. The guy I know who's Italian, how's he talk? He says, you motherfucker. Motherfucker. That's not a good impression. I was doing a good impression of him a few weeks ago, and I can't remember how to do him. Okay, so I did this thing, and then we are going to do that thing. Oh, this is huge. Good lord. What the fuck? Everything else the same? Okay, let's just put that in. I'll call that portfolio 2. Okay, so let's make a new tab. Downloads. The Gemini 3.5 Flash had him made a model, shows 91% win rate with 5 trades approximately monthly for 2025. Then gave it OOS from 2022. Wait. Wait, what do you mean had him made a model? Does that mean had me make a model or and Gemini Flash is worse than Gemini Pro? Or are you saying that's my model or it's your model? It's a 91% win rate with 5 trades approximately monthly. 5 monthly trades for June 2025 till today. Then gave it out of sample from 2022. Win ratio dropped to 80% for sure testing it. Wow. So how do you do that? You just tell Gemini to make you a model or what? Okay, so from portfolio, import portfolio, HRP backtest. Guess I'll download that too, then I could just look at it in the code. Put this into Explorers. And let's go look at it. Okay. So let's put this here. Five. Whoa, wait. It's past midnight? Whoa. How did that happen? How did it get to be after midnight? What the heck? Well, that happened quick. Today ended quick. Let me check my text. I'm waiting on a text. Nope, no text. All right, it's Sunday. Turn that guy off. Test general strategy created on 5/31/2026. All right, so here we can say if test general, no, go back. If test general strat, the Gemini 3.5 flash should be better, or at least feels so for work. Research first, plan second, analyze the plan if you can understand what it does, and then builds everything. But I believe Flash is like their fast model to give you a quick output, and Pro is their thinking model, which thinks more and gives you, it takes longer but gives a better output. That's my understanding. Alright, so if test general strat equals true, let's get the same portfolio we were getting here. So test scaled HRP. Let's do this guy. Really, that'll be easy. So okay, and then let's update, because this is a Python package, so we want to make sure portfolio strategy is in there. Oh, how did I go out to there? Yes, yes, you believe. A great scientist knows. Try it out. No, I think a good scientist, right? You're never fully confident in your in what you're saying, right? Isn't that it? I'm never confident in anything. This drives people nuts. There is at work like a little over a year ago. There was basically we were doing an experiment and I mixed up some samples. It's hard. It was a big experiment. It went for 5 weeks and we did 140 uh, experiments basically. So it took 140 data points, but um, The person who was supposed to do the samples, I guess, didn't show up. And so in addition to what I was already doing, I was in charge of a diagnostic. I was also in charge of the samples, and I mixed up some samples. And so then there was this big controversy, and then one of the people was saying, well, which one did you have back there? I said, I think it was that, but I'm not certain. And they say, how are you not certain? And I go, it's just my memory. This is my memory. My memory, I'm not fully confident in my memory anyway. That's how I think, and it drives people nuts sometimes. From what I could see, Gemini's line of models are knowledge models. GPT is the reasoning model. Claude is the agentic model. So really, that's kind of the separation then. That'll be interesting to look into. Uh, because you would assume a reasoning model, I mean, just from what it sounds like. So we have reasoning is GPT. We have knowledge is Gemini. Claude is agentic. So you would think either agentic or reasoning's gonna win, right? That's what I would assume. Okay, so now let's do portfolio is equal to portfolio. All right, so we have the portfolio. Let's paste the next guy in. So open the portfolio. And we're good. Now let's say strategy. Old. Wait, what does that mean? Your existing call sites are unchanged. Config object style preferred because the config is what gets saved. Okay, so let's set the configuration. There have been too many instances where Claude has literally deferred to ChatGPT. What? I've had them converse among themselves on many occasions. It's interesting to see them talk to each other. So how do you do that? Do you just like say something to one and then paste the output into another? Or like, yeah, what do you I assume it's that, right? That's pretty interesting. So you're pretty deep in the AI models, man. That's cool. So if we want to do the same strategy, we're going 4 longs, 4 shorts. Hold for 5 days, rebalance every day. Sizing method should be beta neutral. Volatility type is... Okay, let's indent all of this. Promise that you will sing about me. Promise that you will sing about me. Yang Chang, weighting, HRP. HRP equal or inverse volatility. HRP look back. What was it here? $150. So what about the scaling? I do it in the CLI. GPT has a headless mode. that isn't discussed by many, but I have Claude call GPT in planning and review the plan with GPT for secondary review. Dude, that you sound like a professional AI researcher. GPT will provide feedback, and if there's conflict, GPT usually wins. Wow, so I need to revise my assumptions, it sounds like. Where's oh, here we go. So in the example you gave, I don't have any options to set the thresholds for IC and spread scaling. Is this functionality available? Yeah, but that's why I think honestly you're going to be like a step ahead like in certain ways. I think in certain ways I've been thinking this about AI in certain I was so depressed about it for years I refused to use it and I only started using it I guess it would be a year and a half ago. Um but No, I've been thinking that knowing having the coding experience puts me ahead, which I think does help me in some way. But I think it's like you're one step ahead. It's like as technology progresses, you're on the cutting edge, and I haven't explored the cutting edge of the AIs yet. I think that's you're like you must be in like the top percentile, I would assume, in AI knowledge because I haven't heard anyone else discuss something like that. I tried two different AIs talking to each other, and you seem like really in tune with the what's best, what's working best. Good. Okay, so we'll see how good Opus 4.8 is. So we define a configuration. Now we create a strategy. I don't even know what an endpoint is, lol. I don't know what an endpoint is either. It's something I've heard of. I have no idea what it is. I don't know how to articulate it. Um, so strat equals that. Now we can say dot set scaling parameters. We'll set the same scaling parameters as here. So let's set it to 0.25 and then we should get the same performance as our 0.25 model. Yeah, I don't know that much about coding to be honest. I got really interested in it and learned some stuff, but it's all self-taught like you with AI. So yeah, fake it till you make it. That's what I literally faked it till I made it. The first reel I did some personal projects that didn't go anywhere, but then I got when I was in college I started doing a research project and I just made up that I was good at Python. Um, and I remember that lady was frustrated with me about. Uh, I didn't use any classes. I only wrote functions, And she was like, aren't you supposed to use classes? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Okay, so once we set the scaling parameters here, we run it. So okay, so I don't care about the volatility plotting anymore. We just want the results. And then let's do strategy.plot. Okay. And then let's save it. Yeah, I'm a big fan of coding. It's just it's very satisfying to me. It's kind of everything I like all at once. With agents and Copilot or CLI, doing that for years. Yeah, it's so I mean with AI, I mean that just makes it like it takes it to the next level. You can really, I mean, look at this project. I would be maybe one tenth of the way through, if I was doing it myself, and I basically would just have to pour through books. Instead, I could just say, "What's the best practice for this? What's the best practice for that?" So now we're saving the strategy. Make a new one called strategies. Dot dot slash data slash strategies slash and then let's just call it gen strat test. All right, Portfolio Explorer. Let's see how it works. Do we save anything into strategies? And then do we get the same output? Whoa. Oh, Yang underscore Chang. Okay, seems to be going pretty well. Let's see, we got to see if we get the same output. So let's make a PowerPoint slide for this. Okay, different results, but it looks really good. I mean, it. What the fuck? What do I make of this? This looks way better, but I think it's implementing something wrong. So let's check the parameters really quick. So set scaling params is the same. Let's check these. So we have 4 longs, 4 shorts. Hold for 5, rebalance every day. That's the same. HRP look back 150. Smooth predictions is true. So maybe it's just that prediction smoothing actually doesn't work better. Oh. So maybe that's it. Beta neutral. Oh, I also need BPS. Pays me. Bum bum ba da dum da 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 da. Oh damn it! My phone died. Ugh. Death row is the label that pays me. Okay. Oh man. All right. A named cost model. So that seems pretty complicated. Why would I want to do that? That looks really good though. Highest sharp I've ever had. Low drawdown. Max drawdown duration 271 days. So what if I do this with prediction smoothing? I get an error. So let's save this. So prediction smoothing's on. Okay, well, my trades aren't going to impact the market, so I don't care about that right now. Okay, so it just topped. Is it BPS I'm calling it? Hey, Soulwater, how are you? Good, I guess it's, what time is it your time? It's, afternoon. Good afternoon. That's funny. It's just after midnight here. You don't need to implement anything. Flat BPS is the built-in behavior. Oh, well, cost BPS I don't care about sharing. I forgot. Oh, I can put it in there. Very cool. Oh, I didn't realize that. So I'll say, why is this? It says it was not closed. Oh, I guess maybe these need to be indented. Why does it say it was not closed? What's wrong, buddy? Is there not a comma somewhere? Oh, yep, that's it. And then we'll say cost BPS is equal to 15. 1:06 p.m. Yeah, I nailed it. Offset, add 12 hours, and then add a half hour. Now I'm in tune, man. Okay, so we added the cost BPS. What else? We added cost BPS and smooth prediction. So now it should really be the same. Hi, buddy. How's the boy? Oh, I did forget a comma. Let's turn them both on so they run at the same time. So test scaled HRP. We have model 28 walk forward. Is that the same one we're getting here? Yep. 4 longs, 4 shorts, hold for 5 days, rebalance every day, HRP look back 150, smooth predictions is true. So 4 longs, 4 shorts, hold for 5 days, sell every day, HRP look back is 150, smooth predictions is true, volatility yang chang, sizing beta, smooth predictions. Yang Chang, beta neutral, smooth predictions. 0.25 target volatility. Look back 3 days. 0.25. Oh, well, that was 0.15, so maybe that's it. Okay, now let's just set both of these to 1. And then let's run them. And then we'll see, are these giving us the same output? And the savings not working for the new strategy, but that's fine. We can get to that later. That'll just be some simple troubleshooting. So if you think this is interesting, I work on it every day. Don't forget to subscribe. I started this project at the beginning of the year. My end goal is to have a strategy I can just run a Python script and reliably make money on. Check out the GitHub. The link's in the description. You can do this for yourself. I'm not sharing my model, but I'm sharing all the code infrastructure to make it. And this is the flow chart for the strategy. So everything up top is done, and now I'm working on the live trading infrastructure, which is at the bottom. Once this works, I think we should be good. I'm out of coffee. Come on, man. It's taking forever. We could give Claude this output. Okay. So first, here's our volatility versus and cumulative returns. Here's the output for the strategy. What's wrong there, buddy? It's kind of awkward to put in. But I don't need that bottom part, so I can crop it a bit. But I want to show the model I'm getting. So that works well. Okay, and then let's put the results in. Buddy, it's okay, we go soon. Yep, so these strategies are looking different. What's wrong, buddy? You want out? All right, so what am I looking at here? Let's put this guy in here. The heck? So are these the same? Saved. Okay, so let's give this to Claude. When I run the new strategy, the results are different from the previous strategy. Despite having the same parameters. This should not be the case. There is either an error in the new file or some new logic in the new class or some new logic implemented in the new class which fixes an error in the previous class. Identify which of these is the case. I included a screenshot of the outputs and have pasted the code I'm using to run the back tests. Okay, so let's screenshot this guy. Come on, man. Give me the solution. Okay, so it's kind of late. My dog wants to go out, so that's going to be it for tonight. I'm going to work on this more tomorrow. My goal is to finish the live infrastructure so I can paper trade in the background while I work more on models next week. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow, finishing this up. I'm actually pretty close to having it done. So tune in for that. I work on this every day, so subscribe if you're interested. Please like the stream. That helps me out. Check out the GitHub. Let me know how it works. Let me know how I could improve it. If you find it useful, star it, watch it, and follow me on GitHub. And have a good rest of your day. Adios.